All right, so like I said, this is a really, really simple unit that we're starting off on. Rates and ratios. This is a concept that you guys have actually been doing for a long time. You probably are used to seeing it in elementary school where they'll say, hey, you have this many circles and you have this many squares and we want to compare. So we're comparing how many circles we have to how many squares we have. Raise your hand if you remember a concept like that. Okay? It's very, very simple and basic. What that was called is a ratio. And that's what we're going to be starting right now. We're going to work on just the idea and concept of a ratio, which a ratio is just a comparison of two different quantities, and they're usually representing two different things, like circles and squares. Okay? What we'll start doing is setting them up into rate format. So you guys have actually seen a lot of very common representations of rates. If you've ever gone to the grocery store and you're purchasing items, the price is a rate. In fact, it's called a unit rate. How much it costs to buy just one item. Or you may see sometimes when they have the sales going on. Oh, you could spend $10 on 3 packets of blueberries. Okay, so that's a rate. The price that you would spend on 3 packets of blueberries. That's called a rate. So we're going to be talking about how to set up ratios and rates today. And there are 3 different ways that we can write them. So you guys in elementary school, you used the word to when you were setting it up. So the word to, 5 reds to 4 blues would be a representation. Or the words 9 to 6. Or just a number format, 12 to 1. These are all ways of using a rate or ratio using the word to. This is something that you saw in elementary school. You probably might have seen it as a colon as well. Again, 5 reds colon 4 blues, or 9 colon 6, or 12 colon 2. But what's more commonly practiced right now in middle school for you guys is that fraction form, where what was the first value stated is what goes in the numerator, 5 reds on top. 4 blues is the denominator on the bottom. It's what was stated second. Okay, or 9 to 6 can be written as 9 over 6. 12 to 1 can be written as 12 over 1. So this is the more common format that we use here in middle school. Okay, when we come back, we're going to practice translating word format into some of our ratios, and then you'll have a ratio worksheet. Okay, all right. When we are writing our ratios, here we have a problem. A basket of fruit. A basket of fruit contains 6 apples, 3 oranges, 4 bananas, and 2 pears. So we have this entire basket that's got several different types of fruits, similar to what I was talking about in elementary school when you have different amounts of circles, different amount of squares, maybe different amount of triangles, and you're doing some comparisons. You're going to write a ratio that's just comparing bananas to oranges. We are just making a comparison of bananas to oranges. So for here, we're going to identify how many bananas belong in the group. So how many bananas are there? 4, right? If we look back up at the problem, it says that there are 4 bananas. So I'm going to identify this as a 4. And then how many oranges are there? 3, right? There are 3 oranges. Shh. There are 3 oranges. So now remember, there are different ways that we can go about writing this. We could write it with the word to. We could write this as 4 to 3. Or we could write it as a fraction. We could write it as 4 over 3. And you would not simplify it. Ratios stay as fractions. Even if it's improper, it's perfectly fine. Get used to the idea of improper fractions from this unit on. From this unit on, improper fractions are perfectly acceptable. Okay? You could also write it as the colon, or the colon. You could write it with the colon, where it is 4 and then colon 3. Okay, so those ones are pretty simple. When you're comparing one item to another item. Some people get a little confused once you have combinations of items. So for here, for problem number 2, we're comparing bananas and apples. That word and, the word and means that you are going to add those values together. So you're going to take how many bananas there were, which was 4 bananas, and we're going to take how many apples there were. How many apples were there? 6, right? There were 6 apples. We had 6 apples. So I'm going to take 4 and I'm going to add 6. I'm going to take the 4 and add the 6 together, and that's going to come out to how much? 10. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. We got oranges and pears. Oranges and pears. So my pears, I have 2 pears. I have 2 pears. So I've got my 3 oranges that I'm going to add with my 2 pears. My 3 oranges that I'm going to add with my 2 pears. What's 3 plus 2? 5. So my ratio is going to be comparing 10 and 5 together. Okay? So I could write it as 10 to 5, 10 over 5, 10 colon 5. 10 to 5, 10 over 5, and 10 colon 5. You're talking to him the entire time. I need you to focus. Okay? Now, what's important, though, is you can simplify these. You should always try and simplify. You should always focus on simplifying. If we were to simplify it, this would simplify to 5. I'm sorry, not 5, 2 to 1, or 2 over 1, or 2 colon 1. You want to make sure you simplify them. You don't convert into mixed numbers, but you do simplify. Okay, what if we were to write a ratio comparing oranges to all the fruit? Oranges to all the fruit. So how many oranges were there? 3, right? There were 3 oranges. Now, all the fruit. What are we going to do to find all the fruit? Add what? All the fruit, right? We have 6 apples. We have 3 oranges. We had 4 bananas. We had 2 pears. If we add all that together, how much fruit total was there? 15. 15 slices of fruit, or pieces of fruit. So then we use 3 and 15 as our comparison numbers. So we would have 3 to 15. We would have 3 over 15. We would have 3 colon 15. Can we simplify the 3 and 15? Nope. Yes? Some say no, some say yes. If you say yes, what can they both be simplified by? Abdullah? 3. They're both divisible by 3, aren't they? And guys, it's easy to see it because guess what? You can take your calculator and you've got a fraction here. Can't you type a fraction into your calculator and hit enter to see if it simplifies? Yeah. You can type 3 over 15. Here's 3 over 15 in my calculator. If I hit enter, it simplifies to 1/5. So I know that I could simplify this to 1 to 5, 1 over 5, 1 colon 5. You can simplify them. So 1 to 5, 1 over 5, 1 colon 5. You always want to make sure that you're looking for it in simplest form. Okay? For problem 4, at Northbrook Middle School, there are 252 7th graders and 10 teachers. We're going to write the ratio of students to teachers. So the problem tells us the order that we're going to write it in. What number are we going to write first? If we are making a comparison of students to teachers, what number value do we need to write first? 252. Good. Right? We need to write the students first. The students is what's going to go first, and there happen to be 252 students, 7th graders. So we're going to write 252 first. Okay? Teachers is going to be written second, and there happens to be 10 teachers. So it's 252 to 10, or as a fraction, 252 over 10, or as a colon, 252 colon 10. Now again, can we simplify this? Right off the bat, what kind of numbers are they? Are they both even or both odd? Even. They're both even numbers, right? Even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So if they're both even, that means they're both divisible by 2. So they can both be simplified down. Excuse me, sorry. This can be simplified to 126 to 5. 126 over 5, and 126 colon 5. All right, problem number 5. On average, most people can read about 600 words in 3 minutes. Excuse me, sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay. 600 words in 3 minutes. We want to write it as a ratio of minutes to words. Minutes to words. So what value is going to go first? The 600 or the 3? 3, right? It says minutes to words. Minutes is the first thing that you're going to write, which happens to be 3. And then how many words are there? Read the problem. How many words are there? Say it louder. 600. So it would be 3 to 600. Okay, or you write it as a fraction. 3 over 600. Or you write it as a colon. 3 colon 600. It can be simplified though. Who can tell me what is it going to look like when it's simplified? 1 to what? To 200. Good. 1 to 200. 1 over 200. 1 colon 200. You want to make sure you simplify your answers. Okay? You have a very simple assignment today, and you have the rest of the class period to work on it. It's 20 minutes to be able to work on this. Okay? And tomorrow, when you are ready to turn it in, how you'll turn it in is digitally, because this is actually a interactive worksheet, a live interactive worksheet from online. When you're finished with it today as homework, tomorrow morning, when class starts, you're going to be given 10 minutes to plug your answers into the online, and then it'll get submitted that way. And the nice thing about it is you can even click for it to check you first. And if it says, oh, you've got some stuff wrong, you can go back through and figure out what you did wrong. Okay? But this is what it looks like. It's got these little boxes that you'll be filling your answers into. I'm going to allow you to work with one person today. One person. If you want to work by yourself, that's fine. But you can work with one person only if you're going to work with somebody else.